Good evening, everybody. This is that Great Cowboys 1964, and I'm here with Julian and Mr. Randall Sliper as we cover the last regular season games, rivalry week. Um, let's go to last night, and of course, Ole Miss pounded Mississippi State 39-19. The Bulldogs played a very defensive battle against Georgia Tech, 16-9. North Texas beat Temple. Utah beat Kansas. And, of course, Indiana made Lee Corso a very happy man. Anybody but Purdue, of course, 56-3. And and then the Arizona Wildcats. They just have been an amazing team all year, 23-7 over Arizona State. What did you guys make of the games last night? Go ahead, Julian.
Well, there was some good football on Black Friday. What excited me the most, as we were speaking right before we went live, Omar Cooper impressed me in the Indiana game, and I'm a big Noah Fafita guy. I love seeing him succeed. I expected a bit more bite from Arizona State, but Arizona came out swinging. I love Ismail Mahdi, the running back from Arizona. Fafita's great, and they have a fun set of receivers with Spivey, and that offensive line looks better than it did last year, which is doing them some favors. So I'm happy to see them ranked, and that was also a very fun game in the late night slate.
Awesome. What did you make of that, Randall?
Yeah, bunch of good games. Ole Miss obviously blew them out. Then, Lane Kiffin is always just keeping the camera on him, going off that reporter and things along those lines. And now today, it's basically like a Pope watch for when he finally makes his decision. I thought he's going to make his decision before this game, but apparently not. But yeah, Georgia's playing their best defense. I mean, you can't knock Georgia when it's a 16-9 game, even though it was slow and low. But, limiting Haynes King to 0 touchdowns is impressive, especially the way he's a dual threat and how much motion Georgia Tech uses. Texas and Texas A&M was very interesting. Texas being at home, I think, was big. I think there was a big moment. Marcel Reed had an injury early. I don't know. I don't think it affected him completely, but I don't think he was 100% there. Definitely one interesting thing that Texas kind of laid a game plan out. And Trevor Goosby's a very good tackle, don't get me wrong. But Cassius Howell definitely got stoned. And, Goosby's 6'7", 320, and incredible wingspan. And Cassius Howell was so small as an edge rusher that he kind of got stoned. So it's interesting to see how Texas A&M is going to handle the college football playoffs after going undefeated. Finally got their last loss at the end of the regular season. So that's interesting in itself.
Yeah, Texas A&M's out of the SEC championship game with one loss. They're
right.
Basically out. Howell is a different type of an edge, however, because he just is he's a 2, really, because he doesn't go down on his
right. Yeah, stand up. Yeah,
he's a stand up guy. It'll be interesting to see what happens with him come the playoff and then the combine and all that other jazz. I still have him as a very likely choice for the Cowboys' second pick in the first round, but we'll see what happens. Let's move to today's games. Joe, don't watch this, okay, Joe? Don't.
No, let's talk about it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mr. Cardozo's. That school up north that he cheers for, they finally tasted defeat from Ohio State after 4 years, 27-9. It was a pretty decent game for Ohio State, but it wasn't magnificent.
Yeah, I think Bryce Underwood is just a developing year for him. There's some good flashes, but there were some bad flashes. Zone coverage, there was a couple looks that he could have got to get first downs. I think that Michigan did play him very conservatively in a semi-snowy game and ran a lot on first and second and then didn't give him good opportunities when it's third and long and like that. Kind of looked at the check down too many times. That was a little brutal for him. But I don't think that I think that Michigan wore that 15th ranked moniker a little heavily. I don't think that they were really 15th ranked deserving. I think they just kind of went through a schedule. So overall, I just think Bryce Underwood needs a full offseason to get himself right and start being a better college quarterback.
Definitely. Sorry, no,
go ahead, Julian.
To touch on the Bryce Underwood thing. I mean, when you're starting a freshman QB, all year long. You expect to see a little bit of development, and there's been some good flashes against the weaker competition. But if you look at last year with Warren beating Ohio State, that's just a veteran guy that he'll hit like the easy throws, and he didn't even play particularly good. But when your defense is getting ran on and there's a lot of clock chewing going on, you need the big plays from Bryce. And he made one good throw to McCulley, but outside of that, really was missing his reads and just and throwing to the wrong shoulder often, even when on the shorter throws. So that's what bothered me.
Yeah. Louisville just pounded Kentucky 41-0. And McAfee and Saban, your Mountaineers, they got pounded as well. 49-0. Thank you, Texas Tech. Okay, Dabo won a game as well. Do we have to really talk about Dabo?
I mean, they're partially irrelevant now. So I mean, that game thought it was going to matter week 3, week 2, but not really. So
yeah, exactly. And the Hurricanes, they pounded the Pittsburgh Panthers 38-7. This was not even close at all.
No, I mean, the Pittsburgh offensive line started strong this year. They started to kind of fall apart by the end of the year, which is kind of unfortunate. But, with Miami's pass rush, I think that was the name of the game, and they showed it. And then kudos to Malachi Toney. I guess between Malachi Toney and Mario Craver, I do love Malachi Toney a little bit more. But incredible freshman coming into, you have what Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams was. Now we're just rolling into some really good freshmen coming into their sophomore year. Super fun to see all these guys. Brandon Innes is going to be another guy next year too. So, man, just wide receivers after wide receivers.
Yeah. Well, the Cristobal will need a quarterback, however.
Oh yeah. Well, people think it's going to be Sellers, so that's one thing.
Yeah. We'll see what happens from the 2nd to the 15th of January, because that's it for the portal, kids. There's no more springtime portal, which I really like. It's heavenly to finally get the transfer portal at least into a stable situation. The coaching, again, that's another matter, right? Colorado lost to Kansas State 28-14. Apparently Marshall Falk is now got his new gig going to Southern University. We'll see what happens with that. But again, I don't think he really did very much for the Colorado running game this year as the running backs coach, but okay. BYU beat UCF 41-21. So we have our first title game. The Big 12 game will be Texas Tech and BYU again. Go ahead and give me the outcome of that game, fellas.
Really, go ahead first.
Yeah, I'm never the biggest fan of BYU, and it looked pretty scary today. They were down early. They made Taven Jackson look pretty good, but I will go Texas Tech without dismissing BYU. I will go Texas Tech in a close game because I just think BYU's defense is way more potent than their offense. And listen, Bachmeier is a freshman and he's wearing number 47, so it's just not the prettiest offense to look at. But I could be wrong. But that Texas Tech defense, I'm looking at David Bailey, I'm looking at Romello Height, I'm looking at Jacob Rodriguez, who threw an interception today, unfortunately. But that's my defensive Heisman right there.
Yeah. What do you got for this one, Randall?
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy. Like, BYU is constantly just like showing themselves more and more and more, and I'm impressed. I'm not a big BYU guy either, to be honest with you, but then you just consistently watch and they're so sound that it's hard to say. Like, in my head, Texas Tech was kind of Big 12 champs since week 2, week 3 for me, and they've proven themselves that they were consistently going to do that. So I love that Texas Tech has done it. I mean, I cannot bet against Texas Tech, and as Julian says, I don't want to echo that much, but that defensive line is so good. I love Romello Height and David Bailey. It is such a great duo. So I don't know if BYU's offense can overcome their defense and score enough points while Texas Tech scores theirs. So it's really just not being able to score that many points. I think their total amount of points scored is 300 right here, 367, and Texas Tech is 518 for the season. Like, that difference in offense I don't think can go well in a championship game.
Yeah. And that game, of course, starts at noon your time, Julian, 11 o'clock your time, Randall, and 10 o'clock for me. That'll be I think that game's in Dallas. I think that AT&T. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
He hosts a lot of stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Including the most watched ever Thanksgiving Day game.
My God.
Well, of course, it's always the Cowboys. But again, this game apparently crushed the 44.2 million that watched the Giants and the Cowboys in 2022. So, hey, there you go.
Yeah, well, I believe you had all of Western New York on a hate watch. How many areas were just a hate watch on the Chiefs on this Thanksgiving?
Oh no! It's the haters of the Cowboys who tune in.
I was on a full-on Chiefs hate watch on Thursday. And it was enjoyable.
I know.
It was so enjoyable.
I know you were, but again, and of course, Ashmere was also there because she's a Raiders fan.
Yeah.
And all the Chargers fans were all coming out to watch that one as well. Broncos fans, that the AFC West really does despise the Kansas City Chiefs, but again, those numbers were massive. But again, so of course, Mr. Jeff, his Grambling State Tigers lost to Southern 28-27. That was ugly. It was ugly to watch. I don't know if you pay attention to the Bayou Classic at all, Julian, but I certainly do.
I watch all levels. I didn't get to watch that game today, but I'll definitely get to that when I'm looking at the under the radar prospects for the next for 2026.
Yeah, there you go. Boston College managed their second win of the year as they pounded Fran Brown's Syracuse Orange 34-12. That was surprising.
Man, they talk about a downfall for Fran Brown on this 1 year. Before the quarterback went down, they had the game against Tennessee, which the defense didn't play anything. And then quarterback goes down. They're kind of like, there's turmoil with players' parents talking about his decision-making and things along those lines. It's just been a wreck in Syracuse. Western New York is not having a good time with Syracuse, even though I fully still believe in how Fran Brown builds his culture and what he does and how he recruits, because he was Georgia's recruitment as well. So, if I was Fran Brown, that I would maybe try somewhere else just because Syracuse is Syracuse. But, he's only 2 years in. I'm curious to see what his next move will be in the next 1 to 3 years.
Yeah.
I definitely trust Fran Brown. He lost a lot of good players, whether it was through the portal or even the draft. He lost his QB. Yeah. That QB situation once Angeli went down, it's Ricky Collins, man. That was a bad showing. They're starting. Yeah. What is he? A walk-on lacrosse player? It's not looking good. So I can't fully blame the coach, but he looked really good last year. And listen, it's a slump, and we'll see how he can recover from it and build from here. Because now the season's over. It's ugly and only up from here, honestly.
Yeah.
And the Oregon Ducks beat the Washington Huskies 26-14. Washington's only had 2 defeats there in the last 4 years at home. So, and they both came this year.
Oregon and Ohio State.
Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
But that is still one nasty place to go and visit because that fan base is very loud. Oregon looked pretty decent today.
It was a little bit closer. Throughout the game, it was what? 13-7 at half, and they were kind of holding their own. I'm a big Demon Williams fan.
Yeah.
As Julian is a big Denzel Boston fan, that's great. And then Jonah Coleman's my running back one. So they just have dogs on that team. So I always want to see them do well. I liked when they were ranked, but Oregon's tough. Dante Moore is such a good quarterback. Oregon's team is stacked. Ohio State's team stacked. I think they had a good season overall.
Yeah.
Oregon's definitely a very good team. I have on offense alone, I think I have four 4 of their players with draftable grades, and that doesn't include the ones I expect to go to school. And then their defense has some real studs too. And when it comes to Washington, yeah, I think they're really top heavy, especially. But that defense has been impressive this year. I expected a little bit less, but that linebacker crew is looking good. Their corners have been decent. Tack Davis has always been a hyped up player because he's a 6'4" corner. You want to see more from him, but I think they did a really good job today alone. If we're looking at it, and just today, very impressive game because I didn't expect them to win, and it was very close even until the end. That almost a first down from Denzel Boston could have made it a 1-score game after. So,
yeah, exactly.
Great route for that touchdown today too.
James Madison made their case for being the Group 5 team as they pound Coastal Carolina 52-10. Of course, Tulane's currently playing right now, so. We'll see which one of those two teams actually make the college football playoff. Mr. Brunelli, what happened to your Volunteers today? I'm not too sure what happened. Mr. Paiva had a big day. Yeah, that's it. 45-24 Vanderbilt over Tennessee. Is Paiva going to New York?
Julian, what do you think?
I think after today they'll put him in, but he'll be the kind of like the pity guy that won't get really any votes. I think he's done a fantastic job. I've been a fan of his actually even after his transfer to Vanderbilt. I expected big things, and he's exceeded those expectations. He went back to school last year in the summer. I graded him. I said, listen, this is a 5th-round pick, 6th-round pick because of his size. But when it comes to college, this is your typical college QB who can throw it, who can run it. And the fact they're letting him throw a lot more this year says a lot about his talent and his ability.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he had an okay throwing game, having 2 interceptions sort of thing. And but his rushing's crazy. Tennessee's defense just didn't do anything. Like, it seems like they didn't really come out to play much. When it came down to it, they were scoring every single quarter. And even Pavia had the 2 early interceptions. So you think that you could rattle him and get him stuck in a box. And he was like, okay, well, I'll just take over rushing. And he just dominated in the rushing game. So impressive for Pavia for sure. I agree wholeheartedly that he'll probably make it to New York and then he won't get a vote sort of thing. But it's nice that he's there. He's, I mean, I would say I think he does make it in the NFL, like not incredibly successfully, but I think he could be a good backup with that fire starter, like a Gardner Minshew type sort of thing that everybody rallies around when he gets an opportunity and stuff like that.
Yeah. That Sooners defense. Okay, let's go down the line of these defenses in this country. Ohio State has played nobody this year, really, obviously, right? Their defense is always being called the best in the land. This Oklahoma Sooners defense has played the SEC, and they have played some tough games. Again, today, Oklahoma 17, LSU 13. Which defense do you guys actually think is the better defense?
Ohio State, or between Ohio State and Oklahoma?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Ohio State, I think.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, Caden McDonald is impressive at the nose tackle position, and that really cleans up that interior with who they lost. Kenyatta Jackson Jr. is an edge that I didn't expect to do so well this year. And then on the back with Caleb Downs, Jermaine Matthews is such a dog. Igbinison has cleaned up his penalties. It's just, and then you have Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles in the middle. Like, it's so wild to have Reese and Sonny Styles in the middle. And Arvell Reese is now taking that Micah Parsons role of just being an edge sort of thing. That's great.
I don't want him being compared to Micah Parsons. I despise that BS. Let him be Arvell Reese. Let him be
Arvell Reese. That's fine. But it's a situation of the linebacker edge.
Yeah, but Micah Parsons was not an edge player in college. He became an edge player with the Cowboys because of the injury situation that the Cowboys faced. They put him at an edge. So this whole comparison is a bunch of BS as far as I'm concerned. It's a bunch of BS.
I'm not comparing him to Micah Parsons,
but
I'm comparing a situation that people are catching on earlier because Micah Parsons went through it.
Yeah, that's the difference that I'm talking about, because Micah Parsons was not an edge player in college.
Right.
This guy is an edge player in college today. That's a big difference. That's a huge difference. And again, Arvell Reese, you know what he understands? He knows how to stop the running game. Mm-hmm. Oh, what does Micah Parsons not have the ability to do? He doesn't have the ability to stop the run. Again, Arvell Reese is a different player than Micah Parsons. That's all I'm saying about that.
I agree, but I would just say that when it comes to the comparison, I agree with the comparison in the sense that before 3 weeks ago, before I believe week 9, Arvell Reese was averaging 7 pass rush snaps from the edge per game. So that's not an edge player.
No,
the Miami Dolphins used to use Jerome Baker on third down in the edge role. I'm not going to call Jerome Baker an edge rusher. So that's where I compare him to Micah Parsons, because they're both off-ball linebackers. But now recently, I think Ohio State's clued in that, like, if we want to get real pass rush, it can't just be from Caden Curry. We'll put Arvell Reese there because Sonny Styles is probably a top 10 player in this draft class. And he could do a lot at that linebacker position. You don't need Arvell Reese, who's kind of that liability in coverage. Put him at edge, put Styles, and then rotate your younger guys in along with Sonny Styles.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
But again, Micah Parsons was not that guy in college. He was never that guy. And Arvell Reese, because Matt Patricia recognized what he needed, he made that switch. That's all I'm saying. Don't Arvell Reese is Arvell Reese as far as I'm concerned. And again, you know what I'm like with these comps anyway, Randall. I don't
do comps. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't mention Micah Parsons and Arvell Reese. I just don't. But bottom line.
That's fair.
Right.
Yeah. But kudos to Oklahoma overall with that conversation, though, because Tier is not playing football realistically.
No.
So when it comes down to it, Oklahoma, I mean, 17-3 against LSU when LSU's a little bit in shambles. They're trying to figure out who their coach was. It's impressive enough that Oklahoma's defense literally kept them in that game. So kudos to them.
Yeah, exactly right. So we still don't have a decision on Lane Kiffin either. So whether that comes tomorrow morning, I guess we'll see what happens. But and of course, Navy on Thursday beat Memphis 28-17. Army squeaked by UTSA 27-24. Army goes to a bowl game. But of course, on December the 13th, the Navy 9-2 will crush Army 6-5. That's just the bottom line there. Yeah. So the Oklahoma Sooners have a 3-0 lead on Auburn. And I said today in the room, the Battle of the Plains is no place that Alabama wants to be today. They don't want to be there. Nick Saban was 3-3 his last 6 visits there. You go down to Auburn, and I don't care how bad they are, how good they've been. You go down to Auburn and you're wearing that Alabama red, you're in trouble. Bottom line. What have you made of this one so far, Randall?
It's slow moving because Alabama's definitely trying to figure themselves out so they don't kind of squander, a first quarter quick turnover and leading up into a 10-point swing sort of thing. So they're figuring themselves out. Auburn's bringing a crazy rush, which is exactly what they should do with Ty Simpson and make them quick, speed up a little bit faster to go for turnovers. Keldrick Falk get Keldrick Falk in his face sort of thing, and then match that pass rush with coverage, and that's kind of how you can beat them. I don't think it's out of the question whatsoever, but it's a taller task for Auburn.
Oh yeah,
but it's definitely not out of the question.
Yeah, exactly right. But again, when Saban said this morning, I was 3-3 my last 6 visits there. That is no fun place. So.
Honestly, I was just I think DeBoer's scheming has been very good, even going back to Washington. But I wasn't the biggest fan of him when he was hired to Alabama. I think that was a pretty big jump, and I think it's showing. It showed last year he had no idea how to use Milroe, and right now Ty Simpson as a player, I think exceeded what he was supposed to be in his first year starting. Now he's kind of starting to slow down, like you said. When you're rushing him, when you're in his face, he's starting to stress, and I think his footwork has been a mess even in this game. And if you look at the stat, he's 3 for 11 right now. If we're looking live, he's 3 for 11.
Yeah,
that is not great. But on the flip side, you have Auburn, who's starting like this is just a bad quarterback room. The coaches
Oh,
already have tape on Ashton
yeah.
Daniels, not only from Stanford, but now they have his Auburn tape the last few games. They're going to shut that down. I'm not scared. Alabama's going to win this game. It'll be close, but it's going to be a very defensive battle as we already saw through the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's definitely going to be a war. Yes, Mr. Joe, Lane Watch is a go. And of course, yes, Florida State has not been eligible for, well, a couple of years ago they were, but the last couple of years, certainly not. Your Florida Gators pounded them today, Julian.
Yeah, very, very happy. I mean, that's honestly, to me, that's a playoff game. You know, even if you're 3-8,
Yep.
that's a perfect way to segue into the
Definitely.
next season. Bring in your good players, bring them back, and let DJ Lagway transfer somewhere else and move on.
Move on, right? You think he leaves in the transfer portal?
I think so. He lost his coach, and then he's been soft benched, and whatever coach comes in, probably going to be Summerall. I don't know if he'll want Lagway.
Yeah,
I think it's best he transfers.
Do you think that you get Lenora Sellers that goes down there? And then from what I've definitely heard is if Nick Harbor does not declare for the draft, that he wants to go exactly where Lenora Sellers goes. They have like a good bond. Do you see that happening down to Florida?
No, I could see that more for Miami. I think they'll shell out a bit more money.
Yeah.
Florida, listen, my Gators, I think they have a good one in Trammell. I think the backup QB, the freshman,
Yeah.
I think he has real potential. I was actually never a big fan of Lagway, even though he was that 5-star, and I obviously put my trust into him. I think Trammell can be very good, and I would like to see him probably play next year. Bring back Wilson and all your 5-star receivers, and then build on that defense. You have some good players in there.
Yeah, exactly right. So Mr. Joe is here, and that school up north learned today we have zero depth and can't run a 1952 offense with $1 million quarterback one. Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. You know, it's
He wasn't ready for the matchup.
No,
$1 million
he wasn't.
quarterback is like, yeah, he was because what he was out of high school, but he wasn't ready for this matchup.
No.
The offense predicated a little bit of what Bryce Underwood could do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But again, I don't call any college quarterback a $1 million QB. No, I just don't. Sorry.
Yeah.
No. You know, as we learned this year with the preseason rankings of a certain guy that's in Austin. And did you see his first half last night? That was the Arch Manning that suffered all year long. He came back in the second half and played very well. But again, you know, he's the $1 million quarterback. No, he wasn't. Bottom line, you know.
Right.
So again, that was just you know, that entire ranking of the quarterbacks this year, as we've said before, Randall, it's totally flipped, hasn't it?
This might be the one year that's like been flipped on its head to its highest degree, right? Like this has to be the most game-changing quarterback class in I don't know what kind of cycle, because Nuss, Klubnik, Sellers, probably a lot of people's top three with Arch 4. And then now you got Mendoza, Moore, Simpson, and then insert wherever you like. Draft Professors is so high in Cole Payton, I believe that's all their QB4s. But that's what the quarterback class looks like, right? Like you're picking NDSU over Nussmeier, which, you know, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's rough.
I don't want to be that guy, but I never really liked Nussmeier. I never had a high grade on Nussmeier. So.
But again, he was this nepotism baby because of who his dad is.
Yeah, QB coach,
QB coach and all that other jazz, right? So everybody was, oh yeah, he's going to be great. Excuse me, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's been a bad. I had a 3rd round grade entering this year, and it's been a devastating year for him. For Alar, both of those guys should have declared, but that's hindsight.
Yeah.
But, no, Nussmeier, that's something I could plant my flag on. I did not have the highest grade on him. Nope. He wasn't in my top 3 at all. So
no. Alar was mine that I never really truly believed at that point.
Yeah.
It's fair.
And for me, I mean, Mendoza's been the best quarterback in this country, bar none. There's been nobody better than Mendoza.
I agree.
That's going to go to this draft. But
Cal just going to keep doing it. Become like the Brian Hart line of quarterbacks for Cal, because JKS is absolutely incredible. I cannot wait to watch him next year. Wherever he goes. I don't think Cal can hold him.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't think Cal could hold him. I think that might be Oregon if Dante Moore declares.
Agreed.
Flip back,
Which Moore was on senior night, right? So that's a clue.
Yeah, he was on senior night, so I think he goes into this draft as well. So, and Simpson goes in as well. Those are going to be the top 3 quarterbacks. That's it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't know. I think Seller does not declare. I think some team would take a swing on him in the top 30 though. If we see Dart being traded up for, I think Seller, someone would love the tools and develop him.
Yeah, exactly,
for sure.
Exactly. But again, I don't think he comes in. I don't think he does.
I don't think either. I think he'll go make his money in Miami, and then
exactly. That'll be fun.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Greg. So if we're talking senior night, I got a 2-minute rant. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you've graciously not talked about the Arkansas Razorbacks yet. Thank you for that.
I have not mentioned the Razorbacks because they lost to Missouri, and you know me, I don't like seeing the Razorbacks losing.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to shout out head coach Missouri Drinkwitz. He mentioned how he wants Arkansas to play well. He's from Arkansas. He wants Arkansas to be good after he took the field. Very gracious of him to say Arkansas needs to be good, because that is true. But it was senior night at the Arkansas Razorbacks. The stadium section was 3 rows deep because Hunter Yurachek can't figure anything out. He spent more money than Missouri, more money than Oklahoma on coaches, and we are bottom of the SEC. And then Petrino does not get the job. Taylon Green is a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback, but he does have the traits to go in the NFL. On senior night, Petrino, speculation. I believe it could be true because I like Petrino, but he can get hot-headed. He did not play Taylon Green in the first half, and our backup Jackson was playing well, but then decided to flip it when Jackson was playing well and then put Taylon Green in for the second half. He did not get a touchdown or an interception. We ended up losing the game. It seemed like a very petty situation, underhand in Arkansas, and I can't describe how big the dumpster fire is right now, with hopefully Alex Golesh still taking that head coaching position that was rumored on Friday. It sounded like Arkansas leaked it so that we could get him into the building. Golesh said that he received offers, has not accepted it, and now it's an even bigger dumpster fire. So if there could be any remorse, it should be people apologizing to Taylon Green for not giving him the full game today and for his NFL aspirations. And somebody needs to get Hunter Yurachek out of Fayetteville.
I agree with getting Hunter out of there because he's been a nightmare. Bottom line.
Absolutely awful. He's not even good in the. Why are they putting him on TV for the committee questions? Like he can't even answer the college football playoff committee questions well.
He has no clue. He has no clue on that at all here. Let's take a quick commercial break here, guys.
In 2006, we founded Yeti Coolers with a simple mission: build the cooler we use every day if it existed. One that was built for the serious outdoor enthusiasts rather than for mass discount retailers. One that could take the abuse we knew we'd put it through, out in the field and on the water. One that simply wouldn't break. We decided early on that production innovation would come from necessity and first-hand experience, not from market research and data analysis. Today, Yeti products perform when it matters most. Whether that be an excursion into the remote Alaskan wilderness, chasing redfish on the Gulf Coast, or just getting together with friends in the backyard, we make gear that helps you stay out longer, travel farther, and live harder. # built for the wild.
All right, everybody. Let's have our star of the day. Randall, who's your star of the day?
My star of the day, I'm going to actually give it to Mario Craver because Miami really needed a big win in this one to fight for Notre Dame for the playoff spot. Blew out Pittsburgh. Mario Craver had, I think, 8 for 129 for 1 receiving touchdown, and then also had a passing touchdown in the first half. Impressive for a rookie wide receiver.
Perfect.
Or Malachi Tony. I'm sorry, Malachi Tony. Well, we were talking about both those, but
You were
Malachi
talking
Tony
about
today.
both. Okay, that Malachi
Yep.
Tony would be the guy. That's today. Yeah, that's for
My
sure.
fault on that. Yeah, Malachi Tony.
And Julian, who's your star of the day?
All right, I'm gonna go with Caden McDonald of Ohio State, but I do want to spin this as Caden McDonald, Kenyatta Jackson, and the play caller for Michigan, because he was pounding the rock on the outside zones, and it was looking scary for Ohio State in that first quarter. And then they randomly started running it up the middle, and that is not where you run it against Ohio State. Kenyatta Jackson and Caden McDonald shut down the run. So if I'm choosing a singular star, it's Caden McDonald, who I think will be a very high first-round pick. And I wouldn't put it past the Raiders to take him if he were to fall into the early second round. He's my star of the day, but shout out to Michigan's offensive coordinator because it was working. They had Ohio State on their toes until they started running it up the middle, and then that's when the momentum went all the way down.
And that is the absolute bottom line of that entire game was Michigan deciding to run up the gut. I'm going, why? What you're going great guns on the outside. Stay out there. Yep. But they didn't do it. He decided to call the A gap. And of course, you know how much I hate A gap running, especially with McCarthy and what he did to Ezekiel Elliott, which has just destroyed his career. Yes, Roll Tide the touchdown. They're up 10-0. Ty Simpson had a great run to set up that touchdown, and so Crimson Tide is now up 10-0. My star of the day isn't even playing yet.
Are you for real? You did. You did it 2 weeks ago.
What? Jeremiah only needs 132 yards and 2 TDs, and he's got all kinds of new records. So come on.
Yeah. AI will clip this, and I hope he does get it because that's a mini jinx you got going on right now.
Well, no, actually, I'm not gonna do that. Virginia's up 14-0 on Virginia Tech, by the way. I don't know what is SMU doing currently here.
3-0 Cal.
They're down 3-0 to Cal. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tulane's up 14-0. UCLA's tied with USC. That's a shock.
Right.
I've got that game going on. I mean, it's just Maeva is not ready he's definitely not ready for the NFL. He's barely ready for what's happening in this game. It's been a tough battle for the offense right there.
That's surprising. That's definitely surprising.
The funniest curveball would be Nico declaring for the draft this year.
Well, yeah, that would be.
Listen, his party doesn't make the best decisions, and I would not be surprised if they're just betting on his trades.
Yeah. No, my actual star was Omar Cooper Jr. last night. He just dominated that game.
I love Omar Cooper.
3 catches, 64 yards, yes, but he had the 43-yarder and the TD. He just was phenomenal. Just phenomenal. So, of course, that was my star from last night. Why do I always pick a guy who's played on a Friday night? And
it's a good point.
I don't know. I guess I just stay impressed with those Friday night games, though. Yeah.
Omar Cooper Jr.'s combine is going to be really good because he's an athlete.
Oh yeah.
And we all know him. The world is going to know, for kind of just casual people for the draft, his combine is going to be good. It's just going to be his vert, his short shuttle, his 3-cone. It's going to be going to look really good. His bench, everything.
His RAS score is going to be off the charts.
Yeah.
We know who that is. That's Mr. Ballard at Indy. He's going to go nuts.
They could use Omar Cooper Jr. That's not a bad call.
He's not going to be at their first pick, though. That's for sure.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah. No.
That's a first round talent. I don't care. I hope his combine's good, and I hope I can die on that hill. He's a first round talent, and hey, let him fall to my Dolphins in the second round.
There you go.
Well, I mean, this whole draft is going to be a very interesting exercise this year because I got way more defensive guys than I do offensive guys with first round grades right now.
Yeah, it'll be super interesting how positional value is going to take place in the first top 50.
Yeah,
Based on where it's deep, right? Wide receiver. I'm sorry, linebacker, safety.
linebacker,
All
safety
those,
is
all those, the three top, probably deepest out of those positions that
yeah.
don't hold insane positional value at it. But you might as well take them. I mean, linebacker. At least linebacker is now becoming a lot more relevant in the running game with the NFL, and it's very important to have that middle guy. So these linebackers are going to be a beautiful addition to the NFL.
Yeah, some very weak linebacker play going on this year to begin with. So I think a team like the Panthers can take Sonny Styles. I think
Buffalo Bills.
Oh yeah, for sure the Buffalo Bills. I think the Rams are in contention since they have 2 first-round picks. Yeah, Bills for sure. That's going to be a linebacker. Just depends where, because once Sonny Styles is off, then it really depends on scheme fit and
Exactly.
and who's still going to be there for the Buffalo Bills. If they miss the playoffs, that's
Listen, my teeth are clinking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's how much confidence I have in the Buffalo Bills right now.
And of course, Randall, as you know, I picked your Bills to win the AFC this year. And of course, it's been nothing but injury after injury after injury. And it's just like, oh God, this is horrifying.
Left tackle, right tackle's out. One good thing. Sorry, go ahead.
This is what happens in the NFL, though. I mean, you get the injuries, you're done. That's it.
Yeah,
You know?
I will say Ed Oliver's is accelerated in his recovery. I think we might get him for the full playoffs if we make it. That's huge for the defensive line. But and then you still could be right. The AFC is so crazy that it's whoever's hot come week 1 of the playoffs. To be honest with you, the Patriots didn't look great last week, and then everybody else is everybody else. Like I could not declare an AFC champion right now. It's impossible.
And I don't believe that Danny Dimes should be starting against the Houston Texans. Will Anderson is going to kill Danny Dimes. Will Anderson does not take prisoners. You do not put that quarterback out in the field.
Yeah.
You just don't.
The Houston Texans defense and pass rush is so good that they saved Josh Allen's knee by readjusting a tackle when he had on a sack. So he didn't mess up his left knee, which thank you, Will Anderson, for doing that.
Yeah.
But that's how good that defense is. And with a fracture in his leg.
Fibula.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how he's playing, honestly. He said he's not worried about it. Well, good for you. I'm worried about him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like he's been injury free, right?
No.
Right. Neck surgery, ACL, and a fracture in your fibula. The fact he's playing is I don't know if the coaching staff is just scared that Riley Leonard is going to come in and look exactly the same. Because when I'm watching that Colts offense, Daniel Jones is just hitting open receivers, and then he's even throwing some triple coverage ones. Like he's not a good quarterback. It's kind of like a fraudulent success story. I'm rooting for him, but I think they're pushing him out there because they're scared that their backup's just going to look as good. There's no other excuse. This is a losable game for them, especially if it means preserving your QB. Will Anderson can actually hurt Daniel Jones. It's not out of the question.
That's not 100%. Out of the question. And no. Will Anderson, he is an attack dog. I mean, he just attacks those quarterbacks. And I'm telling you, he could certainly, without trying to, destroy his leg. He could destroy it. So why Danny Dimes is being sent out there is beyond me. I
no
really
idea.
don't.
We can only hypothesize because what I don't. That is scary to me. There's a fracture in your fibula, unless they're exaggerating it. But I saw practice clips. It looks like he can't move. He looks like Phillip Rivers on a torn ACL.
Yep.
And before those videos came out, they were like, "Oh, he looks good." Like in quotations, they were like, "No, Daniel Jones looks good." So, and then those videos come out, and he does not look good at all. It's very surprising.
Very
surprising. Daniel Jones reminds me a lot of when Ryan Tannehill was in Tennessee, right? Because Derrick Henry made Ryan Tannehill have completely open receivers. You had to play 8 in a box, and then it was just one-on-one coverage, super easy. So I agree completely with Julian on that.
SMU is now up 7-3. I think it's going to be SMU and Virginia in the ACC game. You guys both agree?
Well, I think I feel like they're going to win this game, even though they're up 7-3. I feel like this is definitely the winnable game for SMU.
Yeah.
I think it's a status quo.
We'll start with that. I mean, Kevin Jennings is always you never know what you're getting out of Kevin Jennings.
No,
he's a roller coaster.
Yeah, very inconsistent.
The Ivy League players went to the playoffs today in the FCS. Harvard got pounded by Villanova 52-7, but Yale beat Youngstown State 43-42. So, hey, welcome to the playoffs, Ivy League. There you are. Yeah. So again, we'll see what happens tonight. Next week, of course, Randall, we'll be on after the final game of that first round, right? We're not gonna be at 8 p.m. We're gonna wait. We'll do our broadcast at the end of the last game. Whether that's going to be which game? I think it's going to be. Let's see here, because Indiana, Ohio State is at 6 p.m. BYU and Texas Tech, we've already discussed, is in the morning. I think it's going to be the Ohio State game that ends the night.
Indiana, yes, 7 o'clock.
Right, because the afternoon game is going to be the SEC game, right?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Indiana, Ohio State. I see 7 o'clock. So yeah. So a touch at 10:30, 11 o'clock.
So I think somewhere around there we'll be on the air. Yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah, exactly right. Julian, thank you very much for coming out.
Thank you guys for having me.
And your knowledge is fantastic. I must say. It's amazing when I get to meet another Canadian who understands this game. Randall, you're here.
I'm not Canadian.
I know.
I diffused myself of that. I was 50 minutes away. I visit Canada all the time. I lived in Rochester, so it was
exactly.
Canada was a destination for us.
Well, yeah. As when
Especially
I lived
turn 18.
Well, when I lived in Ottawa, I used to come down to Rochester and to Syracuse and all that fun sort of stuff as well. But but again, it was a very interesting week this week. We'll see what happens for the college football championship games next week. I think it'll be Alabama and Georgia. Who do you guys have winning that one?
Alabama, Georgia?
Yeah.
I think Georgia's playing really good ball right now, but I love Ty Simpson. I mean, it's like a gap at Ty Simpson and Gunnar Stockton. So I do think it's a defensive matchup, and I really like Georgia's defense right now. I think I'm going to give it to Georgia.
I think I'll give it to Alabama. I thought we were going to agree. It sounded like you were going to go Alabama. I'll give it to Alabama. I like the matchup a little bit more. Unless Ty Simpson, I'll have to watch the Auburn tape and the tape from last week. I never got to the actual film of that. If he's looking really bad, then you know what, I'll change my pick. But just based on what I'm seeing on the broadcast view, and I think I'll go Alabama.
I'm going to agree with you, Julian. I'm going to take the Roll Tide, which really it still pains me to say that, but again, I think Alabama is just a better offense. Their defense is still solid. They're not quite the same level of Georgia, but they're solid enough. But Ty Simpson has played very good tonight, and he was very good last week as well. So. Because they just pounded Eastern Illinois, so you don't get to see a lot of Ty Simpson from last week. It was the cupcake week, right? So,
right,
but Simpson has played very well tonight, so I'm going to say Alabama. And so with that, folks, everybody, I need you to like and subscribe to our small little network here. That's how we survive, is by being liked and subscriptions and all that good sort of stuff. And Next week, Randall, we'll be on later on.
Love it. Love it.
All right. So everybody take care. Have a great night.
Thank you.